A new heavy-duty petrol tanker is being laden with premium motor spirits, PMS, better known as petrol. Shortly, it will take off to dispense its cargo to assigned units for use in the conduct of Operation Lafia Dole. The images you are seeing typify the new phase of logistics support for the effective conduct of Operation Lafia Dole. But logistics supports for the operation had not always been as you are now seeing them unfold on your screen. Indeed, unlike these images you are seeing, poor logistics, particularly in the critical area of providing adequate numbers of troops conveying vehicles and low-bed trailers, was another major setback that the Army had contended with in the conduct of Operation Lafia Dole prior to the coming of the Buhari administration and the assumption of office of his General Brutai-led High Command. Indeed, the situation had deteriorated to the point that even when troops were assembled, armed and ready to go to the front lines to fight, there were not enough vehicles to convey them from their respective assembly points to the theaters of war. Not only that, low-bed trailers required to move heavy equipment, particularly armored fighting vehicles, to the front lines were lacking. As a result, such basic requirements needed to support the conduct of the operation more robustly and give Boko Haram a bloody nose could not be committed to operation, thus giving the insurgents an undeserved edge in their engagements with troops of the Operation Lafia Dole. 1 year after, however, these debilitating shortcomings have been largely addressed, thus making significant contributions to how the Nigerian Army-led Operation Lafia Dole decimated and degraded Boko Haram.
Vehicles. B vehicles are normally vehicles that are used in conveying troops. Vehicles used for movement, not the fighting vehicles. Fighting vehicles are called A vehicles. B vehicles on a constant basis that are being supplied. Even as I speak, we are reconfiguring Toyota Buffalo vehicles to be injected into the theater. So the chief has been on top of the situation, making sure that the needs of the troops are addressed promptly. That is why you are no longer hearing those complaints that you used to hear, because we are proactive. We predict what they need.
This is the workshop of the 107th Division Equipment Support at Maimalari Barracks, Maiduguri. The activities ongoing here this day in late May 2016 tell yet another story of how the Nigerian Army-led Operation Lafia Dole turned the tide against the Boko Haram insurgents. The unit is tasked with ensuring that vital equipment of the Nigerian Army deployed in the operation are kept in serviceable condition. This is to avoid the costly setback that the downtime from the permanent grounding of such equipment may inflict on the conduct of the operation. The unit is also tasked with reviving some vital heavy support equipment of the Nigerian Army that can be put to effective use for the operation, but which were presently in unserviceable or defective state. To enable 107th Division Equipment Support perform its assigned tasks, which are obviously critical for the smooth conduct of Operation Lafia Dole, General Buratai ensured that it is well funded, and the unit has put these funds to efficient use to facilitate the smooth conduct of Operation Lafia Dole. Here are AA guns brought back from the front lines being serviced at the workshop. Shortly, the guns were test-fired to certify them battle-worthy once again. These APCs, commonly referred to as MTLB, recently arrived in Maiduguri from Lagos. When the producers of this video visited the unit, in-theater inspection was being conducted on the APCs to further certify them battle-worthy, after which they were inducted into Operation Lafia Dole. The Steyr armored personnel carriers have proved to be very reliable and formidable workhorses for the Nigerian Army. However, quite a number of the Steyr APCs at the workshop of the 107th Division Equipment Support at Maimalari Barracks had issues with their engine, which the unit had to tackle to enable the Nigerian Army put more of the APCs to use in Operation Lafia Dole. With the support of the Chief of Army Staff, a plan was drawn for refurbishing the engines of the APCs, after which they were systematically inducted in the operation, thus making the battle space more constricted for the Boko Haram insurgents. After conducting a test ride with the Chief of Army Staff in one of the refurbished Steyr APCs sometime in the second quarter of the year, the acting commander of 107 Division Equipment Support Unit, Colonel Musbah Yusuf, spoke with the media on the performance of the refurbished APC.
The little demonstration you just watched is the prototype that was just modified, and I believe that all of you witnessed and saw how the vehicle performed.
To ensure that they were quickly redeployed back to the front line, these two T-72 main battle tanks were being serviced when the producers of this video visited the 107 Division Equipment Support. The tanks had performed wonderfully in Operation Crackdown, an ad hoc operation conducted to flush out Boko Haram insurgents from the Sambisa forest under the umbrella of Operation Lafia Dole. The unit has also restored to service some main battle tanks popularly known as Vikers, as well as some mobile artillery guns commonly known as Shilka, both of which are very much dreaded by the Boko Haram insurgents because of their devastating firepower. The deployment of the Vikers main battle tanks and the Shilkas equally helped turn the tide against the insurgents. The deployment of this heavy-duty recovery crane tells yet another story of how the successful rollback of the Boko Haram insurgency in the past 1 year was achieved. One of the reasons why the Nigerian army had been unable to make maximum use of its armored fighting vehicles in the war against Boko Haram was the lack of heavy-duty cranes like this one, which are required to lift up the turrets of these AFVs to enable the technical crew tasked with servicing or repairing their engines gain access into their engine compartments. To assist the 107 Division Equipment Support in solving this problem, the Chief of Army Staff had procured this 25-ton recovery crane for the unit. With it, the inability of the technical crew of the unit to gain access to the engine compartments of AFVs became a thing of the past. This made it possible for the new leadership of the Nigerian Army to deploy more AFVs in the front lines of Operation Lafia Dole, thus dealing deadly blows on Boko Haram.
Really, the assistance of the Chief of Army Staff has been so enormous in ensuring that for me to be able to carry out my statutory responsibility by providing heavy workshop tools, equipment like the crane you earlier saw in the day, and again sourcing for spare parts for most of the equipment, thereby ensuring that the downtime of the much needed equipment in the battle are greatly reduced.
All our vehicles that hitherto had been broken down, resources was released to me as the operation commander in charge of 7th Division for me to turn this equipment hitherto moribund alive. So we did that. The Army equipment and support fabricated most of the faulty spare parts within their own, using their ingenious capacity. And with that, we were able to resuscitate hitherto broken down vehicles and also some machine guns that hitherto were not serviceable. We made them serviceable.
Mansour Dang Ali is the Minister of Defense. He says all credit for the amazing turnaround should go to President Buhari for having the political will to intervene in providing the basic requirements of the armed forces in conducting Operation Lafia Dole more robustly and thus inflicting crushing blows on Boko Haram.
We have to give credence, we have to give this to President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces for showing significant political will by giving almost all we required, almost all our requirements have been met by him in terms of support, in terms of welfare, and in terms of giving us opportunity Two,